Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Sydney, and yeah, so I started my YouTube channel recently, and I do like all kinds of videos. I'm gonna do makeup videos, vlogs, routine videos, challenges, tags, Q&As, story times, whatever you guys want to see. So please hit the subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up if you like it and you want more like it. So today, I put up some polls on my Twitter, on my Instagram, and then I've had people just DM me, text me, asking me to make a video about my sexuality. Woo! So fun, I know, right? But hey, you guys requested this, so I'm hoping you guys actually want to see it. So, you guys have sent me questions about my sexuality. Some of you who already know have asked me to do a coming out story. So, what's it like to be gay? I'm so awkward. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if my chair is squeaking, but you know, it is what it is. So, first things first, I'm going to tell you guys what I identify as. I identify as a lesbian. Most of you who know me already know this, or, you know, if you follow me on Twitter, you can probably tell. But for those of you who don't know me or maybe are new to my channel, yes, I am a lesbian, and I've had a lot of people ask me to do my coming out story, and I've also had some people send me questions about, like, just like discussing certain topics that they have curiosity about. Maybe, you know, you guys are trying to figure out how to come out to your friends or your family, or maybe you're newly out and you just want to know like different things about, you know, what's it like to, you know, be gay and like come out and have to deal with the fact that you honestly have no freaking clue what you're doing. Because, you know, if you're a guy and you've never dated guys before, like, what? If you're a girl and you've never dated girls before, it's like, this hard. So, anyways, without further ado, let's just jump on into my coming out story. First things first. Alright, I'm gonna track this back to, like, elementary school because it took me forever to come out, and we'll get to that part, but we're gonna track it back to elementary school when how my mom didn't freaking know. I don't know, but whatever. So yeah, in elementary school I played softball, and I played softball a little bit in like middle school on not my like school team or whatever, and I had to choose between softball and cheerleading, and I chose cheerleading because I was way better at it, and softball just like wasn't my thing. However, softball players, shout out to you, because first of all, you're sexy. Second of all, you're doing a great job. But anyway, so I played softball with this one girl, and I'm not going to say her name for privacy reasons, but it wasn't until when I got older that I realized you don't shower with your friends when you're like 10 and up, unless that's like something that just my friends didn't do and only I did. But, you know, me and her would shower together, and like when I say shower together, I'm talking like fully undressed and whatnot, and we would just like sit and chat and just like hang out in the shower. Like what even is that? Like, how, Mom, like what? How did you not, like, I don't even know, whatever. So, moving on to middle school, I dated boys, quote, quote, dated boys in middle school because that was, like, the normal thing to do, and I saw all of my friends doing it, and I was like, gosh, I better get a boyfriend because nobody else, like, is single. Like, what is wrong with me? So, I would date different boys. I never, ever really liked them. I never had crushes on boys. They would ask me out, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever, like, sounds great. So, fast forward to freshman year of high school. This is when it starts getting funny. So, freshman year of high school, I decided that I actually did need to date boys because I was like, I am gay, and I do not want anyone to know how gay I am. Like, I did not like boys at all. I was like, wow, I don't want to even be like close to a boy. But I was like, I just didn't want people to know that I was gay out of fear that A, my family would react badly, and B, my friends would react badly. So naturally, I feel like that's what a lot of people are scared of when they're in the process of trying to decide if they're going to come out or not. Like, it's just hard to know whether or not you're going to have positive reactions. However, I will say it's different for families just depending on where you're from, you know, what kind of family you grew up in. There's a lot of factors for that. However, your friends, if your friends are not supportive of you and they do not care for you the same way after you come out as they did before, those are not people that you should be friends with because they do not love you unconditionally. And I'm just going to throw that out there. But, so yeah, that's why I didn't want to come out. I was scared, and so I started dating boys in high school, and I would date, like, have serious relationships. I would date for long periods of time just to have the security of knowing that I had a significant other and people weren't questioning whether or not I was into females or not. And I would always date overly masculine boys to try to, I guess, compensate for the fact that I was terrified people would find out that I liked girls, which I don't like. Looking back on it now, it's really funny that I was like that. But yeah, so freshman year, once again, I'm really not going to name drop in this video just because of, you know, these people's privacy reasons, and also, you know, that's just not cool if I don't have their consent to, you know, say their name. So I broke up with this boy, and I was just like, wow, like, this sucked. I'm over it. I did not like dating a boy. Like, what the heck? Like, this was awful. So I vividly remember trying to tell my mom my freshman year of high school that I liked girls without fully saying I'm a lesbian, because, you know, that can hit a little hard when you're first, you know, coming out. So I just wanted to be like, hey, I have a crush on a girl. So I remember I was in the car, I was with my friends, and my friends had no idea that I was texting my mom any of this. And I was like, well, I'm staying the night with a friend, I don't have to go home tonight, and I don't have to tell her in person. So I texted my mom, and I was like, hey, like, I just wanted to talk to you, like, I'm a little bit confused, I have a crush on someone. And she was like, oh, sweetie, like, that's great, like, you haven't really dated, you know, since you and so-and-so broke up, like, what's his name? And I was like, it's actually a girl, and her name is blah, 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 because, you know, like I said, I'm not going to say her name. And my mom shut it down really quickly. She was like, oh my gosh, like, you're kidding, like, you're just really confused right now, like, that's really funny, da da da. Yeah, so she shut it down really quickly, and that kind of bothered me because I was like, wow, like, you know, the first time you try to tell your parents something like that and it gets shut down really quickly, it's even more scary because you're like, wow, like, having to bring it up again and try again to tell them something like that is just not, you know, it's not something that comes easily. Like, to some people it might, which is really awesome, and I'm really happy for those people. But for me, just growing up in the kind of family that I grew up in, and, you know, I went to a Christian private school from pre-K to 8th grade, and then I transferred to public school for high school. So I wasn't really, it wasn't just like completely normal. Like, it is normal, but I feel like to my family it wasn't normal at the time. So fast forward, and it's, yeah, senior year. It was senior year of high school, and I was on the speech team at my high school. It's the forensics team, but if I say that, a lot of people think I'm talking about like forensic science, and I'm not. So every day I went in, and I had noticed this girl before this year when I was on the speech team with her, and I had seen her in the hallway, and I remember, like, she was really, really pretty. So I get to speech, and she's on the speech team. Well, she's got blonde hair this year, and we sit together every day. We become friends, and we are attached at the hip. Anytime that we have speech, we always sat together. We talked the entire time in speech. We would go outside and practice our pieces, and we would practice together. We would, like, tell each other how great we were doing, da-da-da. Well, one day we were in speech class, and she, I don't know if, I believe that sexuality is fluid, so I'm not going to speak for her on, like, what she identifies as right now. But at the time, she had told me that she was bisexual. If you like girls, like, you have gaydar for the most part, like, and I would talk to her about stuff like that, like, I would ask her questions and da-da-da, and so I think she kind of, like, knew, because we would flirt in class and stuff. Well, we were sitting in class, and we were talking about a book that she was reading, and it was about two girls who were, like, in love and yada, yada, yada. So we're talking about it, and the book is laying with, like, the cover face up on a desk, and our speech teacher comes in, and she was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, what is this? Like, you shouldn't have this out, and, like, turn the cover over, because, you know, it was about lesbians, which is, like, really annoying. But she's a great woman. I love her. However, she was very conservative, and, you know, it just wasn't, like, a cool thing. So that happened, and I was absolutely mortified, because then the whole class heard it, and I was like, oh my god, like, everyone's gonna think that, you know, I'm gay, and that, like, I have a crush on her, which I am gay, and I did have a crush on her, but I didn't want anybody to know that at the time, because I'm an idiot, but it's fine. So fast forward a little bit to the end of the semester, we had a speech competition, and at the competition we had to take a bus, like, to this school, which was close. It was probably like a 45-minute to an hour drive. So we had to take a bus to this competition. We got in the bus to go home, and she laid down, and she was laying in my lap, and her head was, like, on my legs, and I was, like, playing with her hair and, like, scratching her back and stuff, and she just, like, smiled at me, and she was just, like, laying there, and she almost fell asleep, and, like, one of the guys on our speech team just kind of looked at me, and he was like, so that was the first, like, super big, like, girl crush that I had on somebody, I guess, like, that, like, I had seen other girls in my hometown that I thought were cute. However, she was the first one that I knew personally that I had a crush on. Let me rephrase that. So, yeah, anyways, I graduated high school, yada, 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 came to college. Well, this summer is when I officially, like, came out to everyone, my friends, my family included. Like, I just completely came out. So I am going to be extremely careful explaining this part of my coming out story, because I don't want to offend or hurt anyone's feelings in my hometown that was involved in some of the issues, I will say, whenever I did come out. So I'm just gonna say this: I was dating a boy. Then I was on Twitter one night, I was laying in the bed, and this girl this is the girl that I had the biggest crush on, like, all throughout high school, and, like, even after I went to college, I had seen her on social media, and I was like, this girl is freaking beautiful. I was like, wow, like, oh my Lord Jesus Almighty, she is perfect. So I was laying in bed one night, and I, you know, liked a couple of her, you know, Twitter pictures, and I followed her on Instagram, and I was like, oh, like, she's not even gonna notice me, because, you know, nobody thought that I was gay, so I was like, she's not even gonna, like, take the time to, like, pay attention to that. Well, I was wrong. She DM'd me on Twitter. I messaged her back, and we started, like, I asked her for her number, we started texting, and we decided that we were gonna hang out. So one night, I got off work, and I was like, okay, like, we can hang out tonight, da-da-da. We had plans, and, like, I had worked a double that day, and on my break, I had, like, gone home and gotten ready and, like, did my hair and my makeup, so that, because I was like, I want to look pretty, obviously. So I went home, got ready, got off work, and I went to pick her up, and I picked her up, and we hung out by ourselves for a little bit, and then we went to one of her friends' houses and hung out. We're all talking and whatnot, and then it ends up being super late, and so I stayed the night with her at her friend's house, and we decided that the next day I was going to go to a party with her to meet some of her friends and stuff, and that way we could hang out again. So I was like, yeah, like, that's fine, I'll go when I get off work. So I wake up the next morning to a message from that boy, and he was very upset about the fact that I didn't come home, and I finally just told him, I was like, look, like, I don't want to fight with you right now, da-da-da, and then he told me flat out, he was like, I heard that you were talking to a girl, and I was like, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you about it, because I respect you too much for that. I am, I am talking to a girl and I actually really like her. So I think it's best if I come get my things from your house and we're just gonna be done because I'm gay. Oh God. I feel like this video is about to make me sound like a ginormous. That's not my goal in this video. I promise I'm not a horrible person. We have talked since then and he apologized because he did have a bad reaction to it, which is fine. It's expected. It probably, like, you know, bothered him and whatnot that I, you know, was like gay the whole time we dated. God, that's terrible. Anyway, so yeah. So I go to his house that morning after I stayed the night with her, and my stepmom went with me, and we went over there, and I packed up all of my stuff, loaded it up in my car, and while I was leaving, long story short, we got into it a little bit. He got into it with my stepmom. Like, it was just a hot mess. 2 of his friends were there, and they were looking at me like, the heck is going on? And I was just like, let him talk to you about it. And I stayed the night with her again that night at the party, and yeah, we went on like another date after that, and then we decided that we weren't gonna, you know, date or anything like that. However, when we were hanging out, I posted a picture of her kissing me on the cheek, and a lot of people were screenshotting it, sliding up on my Snapchat story. They were asking me about it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, here we go. And then she had posted a picture of me while I was driving at one point when we went to go get food, and there was like a heart on it, and so a lot of people apparently like asked her about it, and I was just like, wow, like it got around fast. And so like I didn't care at that point. But so she is what kind of like pushed me to just be like open about my sexuality, because I did really like have the biggest crush on her forever, and I still think she's absolutely beautiful, like hands down probably the prettiest girl I've ever seen. And yeah, like I'm not saying that just because it's in the video, like she knows I think that too. So anyways, Sydney, if you're watching this, you're really cute still, and I'll still go on a date with you. Anyway, so I'd gone over to my friend's house, Cameron and Jeremy. They are 2 of my best friends in the whole world. I'm actually going to get to see them this weekend when I go home, and I'm so freaking excited. So Cameron and Jeremy are dating, and they've been 2 of my best friends for literally the longest time. So I'd gone over there, and we were having like family night. We were eating and just like hanging out and whatnot, watching TV. And I just told them, I was like, hey, I need to talk to you guys. And they were like, yeah, what's up? And I was just like, I'm gay. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah. And then Cameron has known me for longer than Jeremy, so Cameron was surprised, I guess. He was like, now that you said it, like, I can see it, but I never would have just, like, guessed it. And Jeremy was like, oh, no, like, I told him you're gay, like, I've been telling him for the longest time. I was like, I knew it. And I was just like, you know what? You're right. I feel like, because it was, like, looking back, I feel like I gave off way more signs than I thought that I did, because also another one of my friends, once I was like publicly out, she had like texted me and she was like, honestly, like, I'm really happy for you, but I just wanted to let you know, like, there was always something like off about you. And she was like, it makes so much sense now. And I was like, I guess you're right, I guess, so it's fine. But anyway, so I told them, and then I went home that night and I called my mom, and I called her and I was like, hey, I need to talk to you about something really important. And so I basically just started crying on the phone, because my mom doesn't live in my hometown. Started crying on the phone with her, told her that I was sorry and I didn't want her to be disappointed in me, and that it was nothing that had to do with her, but that I was a lesbian and I liked girls, and that I didn't want her to hate me or want me to be kicked out of the house or anything for it, but that I was just tired of being unhappy. And my mom told me that the only thing she was angry about was the fact that I made myself miserable for so long and felt like I couldn't tell her. I got such an awesome reaction from her that it made me cry even more, because I was like, wow, like, she was so nice about the situation, and like I wasn't expecting it, you know. So then I had gone home, because I was staying at my dad's house, which my dad has passed away, but I was staying with my stepmom because I still have a room at her house and stuff, and like I'm still really close to her. Sorry, that's my garage door. So I went home, told my stepmom, cried when I told her, she was fine with it. So then, like, just long story short, I'd gone down, like, the family, told them, and overall, I got a pretty good reaction from my family. There was a couple family members who said that they don't agree with it, but support me and love me no matter what, which honestly, I'm surprised that I got that reaction from them because they are older and it is not really normal for them at all to, you know, for that. Like, it's just not something that's, like, I guess, just like an average thing. So yeah, told them, I'd, like, told my friends as well. So basically that's just, like, kind of how I got pushed to, like, come out. So long story short, I guess I would sum up saying, like, my family was pretty supportive and they loved me regardless. So for the most part, it's pretty normal for me to be open about it in front of my family. However, I do not talk about it to certain family members, but for the most part, like my mom and my brothers and my sister and my stepmom, my dad's dad, like, they're all really accepting about it, no problems whatsoever. All of my friends were so awesome about it. They immediately told me, they hugged me, and they were like, I don't know why you were scared to tell us for the longest time, like, we don't want anything but for you to be happy. So they were really awesome about it. All of my friends at school were really awesome about it, and this is where I get a lot of questions. Yes, I am in a sorority. And yes, my sisters are really supportive of it. They have never treated me differently. They didn't have a bad reaction at all. Like, I never in a million years thought that I would be able to come out to my chapter. And, you know, I'm making this video now, and half of them were like, yeah, you should make it. Like, I think it would be really awesome. So I honestly wasn't expecting that either, but I'm so blessed to be a part of Delta Gamma because they have treated me so much better than I ever would have expected to be treated by a group of girls. I can't really say that I had any negative backlash. It was really hard just because my family was still adjusting to the whole situation, and they were adjusting to the fact that I wasn't going to live life the way that they had envisioned me living it. They're still fine with it, but, you know, it is what it is. Like, I just, you know, I'm still working on, like, making them more comfortable with the situation, and honestly, you just have to give it time. Like, it's not going to be easy for everyone to come out to their friends and family, and, you know, I'm blessed to have gotten as good of a reaction as I did because I know a lot of my friends didn't. So I just want to say, like, thank you to any of my friends or family members that are watching this. Thank you for making me feel loved and accepted regardless, and for making my life a lot less miserable by allowing me to be myself, and I really appreciate that. So that's, like, all I have for, like, my coming out story. And if you have any questions about, like, coming out or, like, anything of the sort, then, you know, feel free to message me and, you know, ask me any questions that you have, leave them in the comments below. But yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm really happy that I finally got to make it for you guys because I've had so many questions about it.